Hello, welcome to the Monday Night Wars. This is week 29 for WCW, April 22nd, 1996, the 32nd episode of Nitro, but the 29th week they go at it. Nitro this week lost to Raw for the third straight time. Raw got a 3.3 rating, while Monday Night Nitro came in with a 2.7, so a loss by 0.6. So through 29 weeks now, Nitro has 14 wins, WWF Raw has 13 wins, and 2 draws. So this is the Nitro with the 2.7 rating, commentated by Steve McMichael, Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, the regular trio like always. Nitro begins with Bischoff saying anybody that pins the WCW champion tonight will become the world champion. Whoever wins the match and the title. Nitro gives all of Raw's results away, and they still lose in the ratings. But you got to wonder if this did prevent some of the fans from turning the channel. Perhaps the WWF would have won even bigger had they not had the results spoiled. Bischoff gives all of them away. Goldust loses to Savio Vega. Mankind beats Oliver Montoya, etc., etc. Bischoff talks about being live, and they are live from the Albany Civic Center in Albany, Georgia on TNT. The All-American Males start the show off against the Public Enemy, Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock against Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. Decent tag team match here. Grunge and Rocco Rock isolating Marcus Bagwell while Riggs waited for the hot tag and eventually got it after like 5 minutes of being beat down. Bagwell with a crossbody in the corner. Scotty Riggs tried desperately to get the tag, but Public Enemy just took it to him. When he did get in there, he dropped both guys with clotheslines and shoulder blocks. In the end, though, it was the Public Enemy at 7:23 that were DQ'd after their match, and then they did a somersault plancha through the table to the All-American Males. Or they're just the American Males. For some reason, I always think they're all American Males. I rated the tag match 2 stars. Mean Gene says we had to Battle Bowl at Slamboree May 19th. Emily and Cherry are there to open up the envelopes, which have the names of wrestlers that are going to be teaming together at the Battle Bowl at Slamboree, and then the winning team in the 16-team, 32-man Battle Bowl go at it in an 8-man Battle Royal, and the winner of that gets a title shot. So that's how that worked. Slamboree is the next pay-per-view for WCW, so they're building towards that. They opened an envelope. One said Savage, and the next envelope said Flair, or opposite. It said Flair, then Savage. Same thing, but Savage was the second name, and he went crazy, and he's been going crazy. A lot more on that in a bit. Chris Benoit took on Eddie Guerrero next. That's a match that no one cares about. Just kidding. That was a bad joke, but this is a great match. This is a gem here with Eddie and Benoit. Big shocker. Eddie Guerrero is paired with Arn Anderson as Savage and Flair are forced to team up, like I said. Eddie and Arn Anderson is a different pair in the Slamboree Battle Bowl. Sorry, I just read that line right after. It's supposed to be the last paragraph in my notes. But yeah, anyways, that Battle Bowl thing will happen. But Eddie and Benoit take on each other now. Benoit comes out doing the 4 Horsemen sign. Pillman is injured, so we haven't seen Brian Pillman of the 4 Horsemen in a while. He's injured. He had a car accident, so that was obviously a big blow to Brian Pillman's career. And Bischoff says, "Get well soon." Benoit corners Eddie Guerrero with a clean break to begin the match. Eddie locks up Chris in the corner and then gives him a friendly slap. And then Benoit charges towards Eddie, who hit a big arm drag and then a deep arm drag, looking like Ricky Steamboat out there. Benoit with an arm wringer and a neck breaker. Eddie's face raked with Benoit with a side suplex to the mat. A snapmare by Benoit into a reverse chin lock, and with his knee pointed to the spine of Eddie Guerrero while he has the chin lock in. Unfortunately, a commercial cut out some of this match, so we come back with Eddie battling out of Benoit's side headlock. A standing Hurricane Rana by Guerrero to Benoit. Eddie drop kicked out of the corner, but Benoit chopped him down. Benoit then goes to lift Eddie, but he hit a standing switch into a side suplex takedown by Eddie Guerrero. Benoit with a beautiful full Nelson into a German suplex bridge with a near fall. Benoit slams Eddie's head in the corner into the top turnbuckle. Benoit in the end tossed Eddie, throwing him to the guardrail. Eddie jumped off the top with a head scissors, and Benoit's leg was on the post. Eddie in the corner goes for a sunset flip, but Benoit hooks the leg and holds onto the ropes for the victory, getting the tights and the victory. with a roll-up. Benoit wins in the end at 7:30 after he hung onto the ropes, countering Eddie's sunset flip attempt for additional leverage. So that does it for Eddie Guerrero. Chris Benoit with the victory. I rated the match 3 stars. It was a great match. They obviously had much better, but still a good wrestling match. Definitely worth 3 stars. A WCW executive says the Macho Man should seek professional help if he can't control his actions. He was had to be handcuffed by his allies and friends last week. And if he can't control his emotions, and if he comes out and he says, "Oh, really?" and then if he can't, the WCW executive said the ramifications will be huge. And he went, "Ramifications? That's pretty big word for a suit and tie." And then he went, "Ramifications? What a big word for a suit and tie." I believe I just said that line, but I wanted to say it in my voice, not Savage's voice. Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Mang. And basically what ended up happening there is Savage got in his face and just said that he's not going to be told what to do. Hacksaw Jim Duggan took on Mang. Duggan brawling with a legit tough guy in Mang. Mang with a trapezius hold. Duggan missed an elbow drop. Duggan lifted up Mang up for an atomic drop. Hacksaw fired up and went to charge towards Mang for his football tackle. But Mang hits reverse nice jab chops after moving out of the way. Rights and lefts, Duggan sustaining all this pressure, but then a thrust kick to Duggan by Mang almost got the 3. Duggan defeated Mang at 6 minutes after he taped his fists on the outside and then popped Mang with a shot, and Mang just fell right backwards. So I rated it a star and 3/4. That's what Duggan gets by Mang. Next up, we got the main event, Lex Luger, the World Television Champion, with Sting as the World Tag Team Champions, going against Ric Flair, who's the Heavyweight Champion, with the Giant, with Jimmy Hart, Miss Elizabeth, and Woman in a WCW Heavyweight Championship, Television Championship, and Tag Team Championship matchup. So if you pin, you win. All titles are on the line. If Luger gets pinned, that person's the next TV champion. If Luger is pinned, that means Flair and Giant are Tag Team Champions. And if Flair or Giant gets pinned by Luger or Sting, that man's the World Champion. So Flair's world title on the line in this one. He's not very happy about that, but he hits on a young-looking Deborah McMichael on the outside. She was in the audience. Sting and the Giant. The Giant corners Sting, who drop kicks and Giant clotheslines everyone down. Luger, when he's in, presses Flair when he got tagged in as well. When both men tag out, just like the main event with Luger had with Flair the other week. Luger's shoulder blocks and clotheslines dominate Flair. Flair face flops, and seeing the reaction of the fans in the front row when Ric Flair does his face flop is always classic. It's always comedy gold. Luger sends Flair to the buckle, and he flops up and begs as Luger slams Flair some more. Sting leaped off the top and got the knee to the Giant, and then another one chopping the leg of the Giant. Luger grabbed the throat of Sting and tried to take the Giant off his legs, but the Giant had Luger at a chokehold, and Sting kept trying to chop his leg down to size to get him off his feet. Finally, he's hit off, and as is the mouth of the South, he comes on the apron. Flair in the corner has got hot coffee from Woman or Elizabeth. One of the two gave Flair hot coffee, so he had it behind his back, and he was ready to give it to Luger or Sting, but they both move out of the way, and he throws the hot coffee in the face of the Giant, and the Giant screams or yells. And the referee rings the bell because he saw Flair with the hot coffee. So Flair ended up disqualifying themselves, and the titles can't change hands to DQ. So we should have probably seen this ending coming. This match had just basic wrestling, nothing noteworthy, but the stipulation was at least interesting and different. It just maintained Flair begging mostly and Sting and Luger dominating him while he bumps around the whole time. So I just rated it 2 stars. The show ends with the Giant saying next week that he wants the world title from Flair, and Flair says, "Next week I'm going to kick your big ass." Bischoff says he apologizes for Flair's language. So this was week number 29 of the Wars. Nitro lost 3.3 to 2.7. They're going down. This is the 4th week in a row Nitro has lost to Raw, but WCW still has the overall victory in the Monday Night Wars by 1 week. Nitro has 14 wins. WWF Raw has 13 wins, and they've drawn twice. So Nitro would have a record of 14, 13, and 2. If you're going to add it into wins, losses, and draws, 14, 13, and 2 for Nitro. I rated this show a 6 out of 10, mainly for Guerrero versus Benoit. Overall, it had just decent tag matches, and storylines were average at best. But we'll see what next Nitro holds. I'm Brett Mix, And this has been a Nitro review. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit like and subscribe, and I'm out.